What's up guys, Peter from Mountain Ready here. This is the My Medic Sidekick Pro. Now if you don't know about My Medic, shame on you. I'm gonna tell you about My Medic real quick. So My Medic is a phenomenal company that makes first aid kits of pretty much every shape and size, okay? From standard kits to pro kits, waterproof kits, specialty kits like a hiker med pack and cycle kits and basically a pet medic. They make so many different things in the, in the first aid kit arena, okay? Now, if you don't already know the difference between a standard and a pro, let me tell you that real quick before we dive into this guy, okay? Now, a standard kit is going to be your typical first aid kit that covers like cuts and scrapes and bumps and bruises, that kind of thing, right? It's going to have wraps in there and bandages and ointments and maybe some over-the-counter medicine, right? So maybe EMT shears, things like that, tape. That's your standard kit, okay? A pro kit is the next level. A pro kit is really going to help you save a life, okay? A pro kit is going to give you the additional gear necessary to patch a hole in a chest. It's going to give you a chest seal. You're going to have compressed gauze. You're going to have emergency pressure bandage to apply pressure to a wound and wrap it. A tourniquet and MPA for the nose, and other equipment that is life-saving, okay? So if you don't have a pro kit, or you have an existing kit, whether it's a My Medic kit or another, first aid kit, or maybe one that you put together yourself, which is what I do, you need to level it up to the pro level, right? You need to get that additional gear to be able to save a life, okay? And then not only that is, you need to know how to use that gear, and you need to know where to find it within your first aid kit. So you need to become very familiar with your first aid kit. You need to know, under a high stress situation, are you gonna be able to find the stuff you need, and do you know how to use it, okay? I highly recommend that you get trained on how to use the equipment, especially the equipment in a pro kit, okay? Take a TC3 class. I highly recommend one of those. That's going to give you the skills necessary to save a life, okay? So one is to get a kit, make sure it's a pro, and then get trained so you know how to save a life, okay? So with that said, this is my disclaimer. Let's get into the Sidekick Pro, and let's see what she has to offer. Let's go. All right, so we're going to open this guy up, but before we do that, let's go over the outside, okay? So obviously here you have some MOLLE. You can attach some additional things there if you like. You have some Velcro if you want to rock another patch. And of course, we have the Swiss cross here to indicate that it's a first aid kit, okay? On the back, and then we have this strap, which kind of holds everything together, which I'll get to in a minute, okay? Now on the back, kind of the same thing, right? You have these straps that you can strap onto your belt or another piece of gear, right? These quick release straps with these snaps, and then some additional MOLLE if you want to permanently attach this to something. Okay, so now this is the panel, and the panel is Velcroed to the case, okay? And like I said, this this strap holds those two pieces together, right? So in a first aid situation, emergency situation, you need to perform first aid, you're going to open this guy up, right? And then you're going to pull this off of your body or off of whatever it's attached to, okay? Now that's going to expose an additional strap here, which you can either crossbody like a messenger bag on you or over the shoulder, or even wear it around your waist like a fanny pack, okay? So this is going to give you the ability to be mobile with this first aid kit, okay? Now when you open this guy up, you're going to open him up like a book, all right? And you're going to see that everything is easy to find. There's multiple pockets on each side. So let me take everything out of here, and we'll go through it, okay? Let's do that. All right, guys, so this is everything in the Sidekick Pro, okay? These are the standard items, and these are the pro items. Now, you may have noticed that there are only 4 pro items here, and I mentioned a lot more earlier. Well, that's because this is the Sidekick Pro, and it's a small kit, as compared to something like this, which is much larger, okay? Larger kit, more items. Small kit, fewer items, all right? So keep that in mind, okay? So now let's go over these individually. So first of all, this is your topical mod, okay? So think about anything topical that you would need to use. Sunscreen, lip balm, triple antibiotic ointment, hydrocortisone cream, hand sanitizer, all that kind of stuff. would be in this guy, okay? Obviously, you have some gloves here, okay? And then you have your hydration mod, right? So dirty water tastes horrible, right? You don't want to drink it. There's stuff in it, bacteria, who knows what. This is going to purify your water, and then this is going to make it taste good so you can drink it, okay? So there's 2 of each in there, and that is your hydration mod, okay? This is your training, right? Very important, which I talked about earlier, okay? If you scan this QR code, you'll be taken to the My Medic website where you'll get a ton of training on everything in here, plus additional training outside the scope of just this bag, okay? So that's your digital download. Obviously, a Sharpie. You're gonna need to write on something at some point, so here's your, your writing, utensil, okay? A survival rescue blanket. Basically your typical Mylar emergency blanket, right? It's going to keep the heat of your body in, probably around 95% of your heat in, so that if you do injure yourself or someone else is injured, they don't go into shock, they don't get hypothermia. So it's used to keep your, to keep the body warm. You can also use it as a shelter and keep heat out to stay cool, right? There's many uses for an emergency blanket, all right? This is your OTC, your over-the-counter medication. So think of anything like pain relief, fever reducer, nausea, diarrhea, upset stomach, allergic reactions. Anything like that will be here in the medication mod, okay? This is your blister mod, right? So if you get a blister on your hand or your foot, you're gonna have some blister strips in here to kind of pad that blister and protect it and, ensure that it doesn't rip off. Those are your blister mods, okay? Your burn mod, same thing. If you get a burn, this is gonna ease the pain and it's gonna keep that burn moist, okay? And then obviously the super skin bandages, probably my favorite thing here in this kit, are these bandages. These are probably the best bandages you're gonna find. This is a 12-pack of assorted sizes, and these bandages are super sticky, they're 4-way stretch, and they're just awesome, okay? I love them, okay? Now, the pro items. So first you have the compressed gauze. If you need to pack a wound, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna pack that wound and you're gonna wrap it with the compressed gauze, okay? These are your sutures. Basically, these are your stitches, right? So if you need to suture up a wound without a needle and thread, you can use ZZips here to do that. So you have 2 packs of 2 in here, right? And what you do is if you have a really bad wound that you need to stitch, you can adhere these to either side of the wound, and then you can pull them tight and, in essence, bring the wound together, right? Zip it closed. That's what these do. These are Bleedstop packages. We got 2 of these. This is basically a powder, and you'll open these up, you'll pour that powder into the wound, and then you'll apply pressure for about 10 seconds, and the blood will clot, okay? So if you have a wound that just won't stop bleeding, you're gonna use this stuff to stop the bleeding. And then last but not least is your tourniquet, right? This is a rat's tourniquet. It's elastic, it's stretchy. And again, you're gonna use this for an arterial bleed, right? Your arms, your legs, nice and high and tight. You apply the tourniquet, and if you don't have one of these and you have an arterial bleed, you have about 30 seconds before you bleed out. So that's what you're gonna use this for, all right? And that basically covers it for the Sidekick Pro. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to visit mountainready.online to pick yours up today. See you next time.